The Zephyrian hunting grounds stretched endlessly across the crystalline plains of Kepler 442b, where the galaxy's most elite predators gathered every solar cycle for the Great Chase. Ambassador Kex Thorin adjusted his atmospheric processor and watched the assembled creatures with professional detachment. The Galactic Council had commissioned this documentary to showcase the universe's apex hunters, and the lineup was impressive. The Velkari Shadowstalker crouched at the starting line, its 6 legs coiled like compressed springs. Native to the high-gravity world of Terminus Prime, these creatures could achieve speeds of 180 kilometers per hour across any terrain. Their obsidian carapaces gleamed with an oil-slick sheen, and their compound eyes tracked every movement with predatory focus. Beside it, the Arcturus Windracer pawed the ground impatiently. These ethereal beings from the gas giant moons could manipulate local air currents to propel themselves at nearly 200 kilometers per hour. Their translucent bodies rippled like captured lightning, and when they moved, they seemed to dance between dimensions. The massive Titan pursuer from the heavy worlds dominated the center lane. Standing 3 meters tall on 4 trunk-like legs, it could maintain 150 kilometers per hour indefinitely across continental distances. Its hide was like living armor, scarred from countless hunts across the metallic steppes of its homeworld. Then there was Kethalan the Devourer, a nightmare made manifest from the dark nebulae. This writhing mass of sentient shadow could phase through solid matter while maintaining incredible speeds. Legends claimed it had never failed to catch its prey in over 3 centuries of hunting. And finally, looking almost comically out of place among these alien monstrosities, stood Dr. Elena Vasquez. The human wore simple running attire, moisture-wicking fabric, cushioned shoes, and a hydration pack. At 165 meters tall and weighing perhaps 60 kilograms, she appeared fragile compared to her competition. The other predators regarded her with what could only be described as amusement. "The human wishes to participate?" Kex Thorin had asked when she first submitted her entry. The translator struggled with his incredulous tone. "Are you certain this isn't some form of elaborate suicide?" Dr. Vasquez had simply smiled. "I'm an evolutionary biologist specializing in persistence hunting. I think I can keep up." The target was a prismatic stag, one of the fastest creatures known to galactic science. It could reach peak speeds of 300 kilometers per hour in short bursts and maintain 100 kilometers per hour for extended periods. The holographic projection showed it had been released at the far end of the hunting ground, 50 kilometers away across varied terrain that included crystal forests, methane streams, and gravitational anomaly fields. The rules were simple. Catch the stag by any means necessary. No weapons, no technology beyond basic survival gear. First to make physical contact wins. The starting signal resonated across 12 different frequency ranges to accommodate the diverse hearing of the participants. The alien predators exploded into motion like living missiles. The Shadowstalker's legs became a blur as it bounded across the terrain in massive leaps. The Windracer seemed to simply disappear, reappearing hundreds of meters ahead in flashes of bending light. The Titan pursuer's thunderous strides shook the ground as it charged forward with mechanical precision. Kethalan flowed like liquid darkness, phasing through obstacles as if they didn't exist. Dr. Vasquez began to jog. Kex Thorin followed the chase through orbital surveillance drones, providing commentary for the documentary. Within the first hour, all the alien predators had closed significant distance on their quarry. The Shadowstalker was already within 5 kilometers of the stag, having crossed the crystal forest in gravity-defying bounds. The human was barely 8 kilometers from the starting line. "It appears the human has severely overestimated her capabilities," Kex Thorin noted. While admirable in spirit, this display serves to highlight the vast differences between species adaptations. But something interesting began to happen in the second hour. The Shadowstalker, despite its incredible speed, had to stop frequently to rest its powerful but energy-intensive muscles. Its burst hunting style was perfect for quick kills but poorly suited to extended chases. The Windracer found its atmospheric manipulation abilities severely taxed by the planet's unusual magnetic fields. What had seemed like effortless speed was actually requiring enormous concentration and energy. The Titan pursuer maintained its steady pace, but even its incredible endurance had limits on this lighter gravity world where its adaptations were less optimal. Kethulan discovered that phasing through matter was incredibly draining over long distances, forcing it to manifest physically more often than it preferred. Meanwhile, Dr. Vasquez continued her steady jog. Her breathing remained controlled, her pace unchanged. The tracking drones showed her biometrics: heart rate elevated but stable, muscle efficiency optimal, hydration levels carefully managed. By hour 4, the dynamics had shifted dramatically. The Shadow Stalker had collapsed from exhaustion after multiple failed sprint attempts. The Wind Racer was struggling to maintain cohesion as its energy reserves depleted. The Titan pursuer had slowed to half its original pace, its massive frame working against it in the alien environment. Even Kethulan had been forced to abandon pursuit after repeated phases left it nearly dissipated. The human had closed to within 15 kilometers of the stag. Hour 6 brought revelation. The alien predators watched from their scattered positions. As Dr. Vasquez passed each of them in turn, her pace still steady, her form still efficient. She had been running for 6 hours straight without stopping, covering nearly 65 kilometers. The stag, despite its incredible speed, was beginning to tire from the constant evasion. Its burst speeds were becoming shorter, its recovery times longer. Hour 8. Elena Vasquez came within visual range of her quarry. The prismatic stag was magnificent even in exhaustion, its crystalline hide refracting light into rainbow cascades. It could still outrun the human in short bursts, but those bursts were becoming increasingly brief. After each desperate sprint, it would need longer to recover while the steady human continued her relentless approach. The stag's evolutionary programming had never prepared it for this. Every predator it had ever encountered relied on speed to catch prey quickly or gave up. This strange bipedal creature didn't seem to understand that it was supposed to stop. Hour 10. Contact. Dr. Vasquez reached out and gently touched the exhausted stag's flank. The creature barely flinched, too tired to flee. Elena sat down beside it, offering water from her pack while she caught her breath. Kexathoran stared at the monitoring data in disbelief. The human had run 98 kilometers in just under 10 hours, at an average pace that would have been impossible for any other species to maintain. Persistence hunting, Dr. Vasquez explained later, as medical teams attended to the recovering alien predators. Humans evolved as endurance predators. We're not the fastest, not the strongest, but we can outlast almost anything. Our ancestors used to run prey to death across the African savanna. She gestured toward the aliens being treated for exhaustion. Every species here evolved to be either ambush predators or burst hunters. But humans? We're the galaxy's only true persistence. Predators, we just don't stop. The documentary that resulted from the Great Chase became legendary throughout the galaxy. It was titled The Pursuit Protocol and served as both entertainment and cautionary tale. The final scene showed Dr. Vasquez jogging back to the starting line, still moving with that same steady, efficient gait that had defeated the galaxy's apex predators. The narration, delivered in Kexathoran's awed tones, concluded, "In a universe of specialized hunters, the human represents something unique. The predator that predates through pure, relentless determination. They cannot be outrun because they do not understand the concept of giving up." Perhaps this explains why, in every scenario of first contact, it is always humanity that finds the other species, and never the reverse. They are still running, still chasing, still pursuing the next horizon with that same terrifying patience that conquered their own world. In the end, the question is not whether humanity will catch up to any given prey. The question is simply, how long will it take?